Hi, it's Paul Slacker's Good News Broadcast. I'm speaking with Randy Sherman. Hi, Randy. How are you?
I'm good, Paul. How are you?
Okay, good. You're the Director of Marketing for Autism Partnership.
Correct.
That's very important work, especially since autism is on the rise.
Yes, it
And that's a big concern, isn't it?
You know, it is a big concern, and but there's so much available treatment out there, and the good news is there's, possibility for creating quality lives for these children.
Great. Well, we just did an autism whole day special, and we're involved in putting together an autism channel here on Good News about the positive things that are being done, of which there are so many, and so many great organizations. Now, your organization, Autism Partnership, tell us what you guys do.
Sure. Well, let me give you a little background on how it was developed. The senior staff of Autism Partnership, they started their work together back in the 1970s at the UCLA Young Autism Project. This was under the mentoring of Dr. Ivaar Lovaas, a pioneer in the treatment of autism. John McCacken, Ronald Leaf, Mitchell Taubman, Tracy Parker, Sanford Slater, and Andrea Wack learned their profession. That's the core group of people that work at Autism Partnership. They were involved in all of the aspects of this seminal project with Ivaar, including the development of curriculum and behavioral intervention strategies, implementing and supervising treatment, training therapists, teachers, and parents, teaching classes, and conducting research. And then in 1994, doctors Ronald Leaf and John McCacken formed Autism Partnership and have been providing comprehensive services to families ever since.
Okay, and you have some upcoming events, so I understand it. What's ABA?
What is ABA? ABA is Applied Behavior Analysis. It is the most effective and scientifically proven treatment used with children who have autism spectrum disorder. The objective of the intervention is to teach children and adolescents and teens those skills that will help facilitate their development, help them achieve the greatest degree of independence and the highest quality of life possible. Good teaching of ABA includes discrete trial teaching, also known as DTT, which involves breaking a skill into smaller parts, teaching one sub-skill at a time until the child masters it, allowing repeated practice in a concentrated period of time, providing prompting, and then stating that prompt, and then using reinforcement.
Okay, very good.
Does that make sense, Paul?
Yes, it does make sense,
Okay.
and I was listening very closely here.
Okay, good. I'm going to quiz you on that.
Because this is very important
Yes.
information for so many. Now, you have there's some coming in October. Do I see this correctly?
Actually, we have one coming up this Friday, but I'll talk about that one because we're talking about ABA. And so I kind of want to elaborate on what I just talked about regarding applied behavior analysis. There's tremendous variation in the field of applied behavior analysis, from those approaches that are extremely rigid and have set rules regardless of the child, to those approaches that are lackadaisical and without any structure. The workshop that's coming up on Friday is called Not All ABA is Alike, and it's building quality education in homes and schools. So our workshop elaborates on Autism Partnership's different techniques while helping and teaching parents and professionals how to identify the differences between good and bad ABA. It's the difference between a child making very little or tremendous progress. So it's important for parents to identify when they're with a therapist, when they're with an agency, that, hey, you know what, that isn't good ABA. But they don't know that until they're educated about what's good and bad. So included in the workshop, we'll be also discussing the myths and facts about autism. There's a lot of misinformation and confusion about even the etiology, the prognosis, and the treatment options. Dr. Leaf's going to talk about how to deal with challenging behaviors, and then he's also going to cover developing meaningful friendships. And I'll talk a little bit more about that if you're asking about the October workshap.
Well, do you physically have to be there to go to this, or is this going to be streamed?
No, these will not be streamed.
Okay.
I've asked the co-directors many times about doing webinars and streams and all that. And the thing is our workshops are very participatory, and they're very important that people be there. And so these workshops, you have to be in Seal Beach to be there. And yeah, that's very far away from New York City. But
it sounds very beautiful.
So well worth the planning. And especially, I want to say the October workshops. And let me know when you want me to elaborate on those, and I will.
Okay. How about now?
How about now? Okay, I can do that. So the two that are in October are incredible. And so the first one is the hands-on workshop. And this is where, again, people from New York City, we certainly encourage people to come out and stay for a week. Obviously, they're going to love Seal Beach and the surrounding areas. But it is a week-long workshop. It's 5 days. And it literally is learning ABA hands-on with kids with ASD, with autism spectrum disorder, from all ends of the spectrum, from the low functioning to high functioning. You are literally working with them every single day. You're getting feedback from the doctors directly, as well as our senior mentor level staff at Autism Partnership. But from day 1 to day 5, it's an incredible change. I've attended the workshop, and I don't have children with autism. I have a typical child, but I will tell you, even the first day after doing the hands-on, I wanted to come home and do ABA with my daughter because it motivates you that much. It makes so much sense, especially when done right. It's amazing. So people walk away with very useful tools. It's not just a didactic workshop. You're going in, you're actually getting in there and getting dirty. And people walk away with knowing how to work with their kids, or at least having, a bag full of tools that they can go home and apply. So the hands-on is an amazing workshop. Though the other workshop at the end of October is developing meaningful friendships. It's teaching social skills. And that's by one of our co-directors, Dr. Mitchell Taubman. That's his specialty, is the social skills arena. And, that's a big hot topic right now, Paul, in autism, because it's the one area that isn't worked on as deeply as it should. When we talk about social skills, the thing we think about is, a play date, having the kids play together, hopefully make eye contact, and boom, you've got social skills. Well, no, if we think about who we are, there's so many nuances to being social that we don't realize because we don't have autism. That's what we actually can teach these kids. We can teach them empathy. We can teach them cool versus not cool. The things that look cool and not cool, what's going to help them blend in and feel a part of a peer group at school. So that's how critical social skills are, and especially as the kids get older and the parents have to, then talk to them about their autism. Those kids need the skills. They want to feel. They want to feel a part of a group and be able to generalize, take that outside of a group and go home, go shopping, and still feel, like they're part of everybody else.
It's all good.
I'm babbling. Sorry, Paul.
It's all good. I got an interview in a second or two more, but I have to run to. But two quick questions.
Sure.
On the website, what can we learn?
Okay. It's an excellent resource for learning more about autism, as well as finding out how someone can learn the tools needed to work with the individual with ASD, such as our workshops. We have featured stories on our website, which are excellent. They're personal family stories and experiences about our kids, so they can read about the success stories of what we've done with the children and what the family's experience has been. And lastly, about our special programs, anywhere from individual one-to-one behavioral intervention to our special programs such as Jumpstart and Rescue.
Okay. Your enthusiasm is abounding. That's the good news here. And that's very important because I can feel the passion and the caring
Absolutely.
and the concern that you have for the organization and for helping those with autism. So last question for you right now, Randy, is
Sure.
What's good news for you?
What's good news for me? Good news for me is there's hope out there. Good news is that I've seen amazing progress with kids with autism, and I'm excited about that. We are one of the best companies in the world to work with, and I encourage everybody to take a look at our website and ask questions. And that's it.
That's beautiful. Okay. Thanks so much for sharing good news with us, Randy.
Thanks, Paul. Have a good day.
Take care. Bye-bye.